YouTube Ozico, the Godows is back after week one of college football here with a way too early 2024 mock draft. A lot of prospects really boosting their stock, so excited to see where those guys fit in here. It's only been 1 week, but the draft class looks pretty good so far, so I thought we had to do a mock draft here, but we are officially in week one of the NFL season, so really excited about that. Really excited about our content, which starts tonight with weekly picks Monday night, and then we have content every single day throughout the week, all year long. So join us, like, subscribe to notifications on, follow us on Twitter for live analysis during games. Twitter subs get bonus content, of course, NFL and college football. Links pinned in the comments for our social media and our sponsors. Liquid IV is 30% off. That ends tonight, Monday night. Back to 20% after that. GLD Shop 33% off, rocking their Cincinnati Bengals chain. They have more NFL teams and more jewelry. So the mock draft, two important things here. For the order, I just use reverse Super Bowl odds. You know, this isn't about season predictions, anything like that. It's a mock draft. It's kind of get to know the prospects. So I don't want anybody complaining about the order, and I don't want anybody complaining like my team doesn't need this. You don't know what they need yet. It's more about get to know the prospects, where their stock's at, where do they fit, and what teams may need. So you're here for a mock draft, get to know the prospects here. So first overall, the Cardinals. I got Caleb Williams right now, who's still a magician out there, and it's very entertaining, very fun to watch through 2 games for USC. So right now, the favorite to be the first overall pick, I'd say it's not a lock. People talk about it's a lock. I think Drake Maye is more in the conversation than people realize, and then you factor in the Cardinals running a bit of a new system now and a new coaching staff. They want to run more of a West Coast style offense, and that is kind of why maybe Kyler Murray won't be there in the future, because does he fit that style offense? And then you kind of question, is Drake Maye as good as Caleb Williams? Does he fit that system more? That actually would be an interesting debate. So it's closer than you think. Right now, Caleb Williams, who's doing things a lot of guys in the NFL cannot do. People kind of comparing him to Mahomes with the things he does in the pocket or escaping the pocket. So the USC quarterback, first overall for now. So the Cardinals ended up back-to-back picks. This is the Texans pick. So this would be something. And again, this is Super Bowl odds, reverse order. I don't really agree with the Texans, being, I think they'd be a little better than that, but that's not this video. Marvin Harrison Jr. would be something for the Cardinals. Getting that quarterback, then getting that top receiver from Ohio State, two elite prospects, and they do need a receiver pretty badly. Marvin Harrison Jr. his first game, pretty underwhelming. Just 2 catches. I think that was more on the new quarterback, McCord, which he's got to just get the ball in the area a little bit more. Don't be afraid to get the ball in the area. So that was a little underwhelming for Ohio State against Indiana offensively, but it doesn't change Harrison Jr.'s stock at all. Still a top-tier prospect here. Again, they're going to have to try to force him the ball a little bit more, to get him going, but it doesn't really change his draft stock or, where he is in the draft. So Cardinals go get, that looks pretty good. 2 elite prospects there. Third overall, we'll go with the Colts getting Joe Alt, the Notre Dame left tackle. I believe I had this last time in my way too early mock draft. Colts fans are like, we don't need a left tackle. You don't know that yet. We'll see how Ryman does. But, I get protection for, better protection for Anthony Richardson and, Shane Steichen coming from the Eagles. He'll value having elite tackles, offensive line in general out there. So I thought that made sense. If Marvin Harrison's there, I think that's the pick, but he's gone a pick before. So Joe Alt to the Colts. Drake Maye to the Bucs would be fantastic for the Bucs. You may have to move up for Drake Maye. In this scenario, though, if the Cardinals go back, they already got the quarterback at 1. If they go back from 2 to 4, they're not going to get Marvin Harrison because the Colts will take him. So maybe in this specific scenario, maybe the Bucs stay put. Maybe the third spot is where you trade for a quarterback. But Drake Maye, in my opinion, in the running for the first overall pick would be fantastic for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback of the future here. His first game against South Carolina, big win. Thought that'd be a little closer than it was. Maye did throw 2 interceptions. If you watch the game, the second one maybe wasn't all on him. Was tipped a little bit. Receiver could have came down with that. He does need to put that ball a little bit more outside. But in the first interception, kind of forced that one in there. Kind of looked pretty before the interception, throwing on the run, laser a ball. Just needs to be a little bit more outside. But he'll throw some dangerous passes, so he could work on that a little bit. Not really worried about it, though. He looks really good. Obviously, the strong arm, the accuracy, reading pressure, rolling away from the pressure, throwing in uncomfortable situations while being hit, while under pressure. So a ton of upside here for Drake Maye. And again, he'll throw some risky passes. He'll hit a lot of them still, which is where he really stands out. So he can make people miss in the pocket, pass rushers. So this would be a fantastic fit for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. Fifth, Titans going Alu Fashanu, Penn State tackle. Thought about a couple different things here. I guess, maybe Will Levis be the quarterback of the future for the Titans. But I thought about Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia as well. But offensive line seems like it's a mess, but I guess we'll see during the year. Skoronski will fit in there at guard. Fashanu can fit in there at tackle. Sixth, J.J. McCarthy, the Michigan quarterback, which we only saw one game this year, and that was against East Carolina, which he looked pretty good. Really good in the pocket, really accurate. I thought he looked like he had a little bit more velocity, behind his passes. Just based off one game compared to last year. So that would be big for him. So, and it just feels like a smart quarterback. The intangibles are there. Definitely want to see more. Because there was times in the past where he was definitely younger, still going. Whereas this guy like a kind of a glorified game manager type quarterback for the NFL. But only one game, but it looked like another step in the right direction. I think him kind of being a smarter quarterback I think will help as well. So the Rams get the quarterback of the future, 6th overall, McCarthy, who definitely kind of helped his stock here in the one game we saw this year. The Bears at 7. I believe this is the Panthers one. It's really besides the point, but because the Bears will have 2 picks, Panthers and Bears, wherever those two end up. But Jared Verse, who had a strong outing, of course, getting pressure last night against LSU, and he had a strong outing last year too, so he was kind of already up here in this conversation to be the first pass rusher taken. I think it's between 2 guys right now, just at this early stage, and he is one of them, and he's likely the top guy. So the Bears get a pass rusher that they badly need here for the future at 7 overall. 8, go Brock Bowers, the Georgia tight end. I think I had this last time, too. I like this a lot for an Eric Bieniemy offense. Not to compare him exactly like style-wise to Kelsey, but impact-wise, maybe that's high praise. But perfect for Bieniemy's offense, which could use a tight end in the future there. So 8th overall to Washington. We'll see how Sam Howell does this year, see if they'll be needing a quarterback. Howell looked pretty good in preseason. 9, the Raiders, who need defense. A lot of defense here. I thought about some interior defensive linemen as well, but Kalen King has the opportunity, and right now looks like the best corner in the class. The Penn State defense has some NFL talent on it. He is one of them. What I like about him is he's really quick out of his break, attacking the ball, especially underneath. Athletic, physical. Just always locked down, but making a play on the ball at the same time. So the Raiders get the corner of the future there. 9th overall. 10th overall, Latu, who is in the conversation for the top edge rusher in the class at this way too early stage. He had himself an outing against Coastal Carolina in week 1. And I know it's Coastal Carolina, but they're never, they're not that easy. It's not like that beat up opponent. And he was just unblockable. Like, he wins with speed, he wins with his hands, pass rush moves, and he had himself a game. He had a good year last year too, or a good season last year as well. So the Falcons get the pass rusher that they could use there. I guess it depends on Desmond Ridder too. This could be quarterback here. I thought about that, but Latu, strong pass rusher, really good outing in week 1. That's definitely one to watch. Keon Coleman, man, he's probably the biggest riser. I mean, the game that he had against LSU on Sunday night was absolutely ridiculous. And this is a guy that looks the part, and he looked the part at Michigan State. 6'4" guy. Just looking at the guy, looks like an NFL receiver. That looks like one that everyone would like, and he can move, for a big guy. Then you get him into Florida State with more productive, just a better offense in general. And man, he looked good. I mean, you just throw the ball up to him, and besides the first touchdown that he was wide open, but he, the way he moved, 6'4" guys aren't supposed to move like that. He's gone for a touchdown, but after that, it's like you ain't winning a one-on-one battle with Keon Coleman. He's too strong. He's too athletic. He's too big. He's got the ups. He's got the strong hands. See him grip that football. A ridiculous outing, and I don't think that happens by mistake. That's one of those where all you need to see from him, and you're good to take him in the first round. But we want to see more. I mean, incredible. So the Patriots, who have a list of receivers, but they're always looking to get better. There's some of that talk like they need to get better there. So they grab Coleman, who's looking like the number 2 receiver right at this early stage after Marvin Harrison. So incredible showing from the new Florida State wide receiver. I mean, not only does he look the part, it's like and some too. 6'4", they can move like that, but he plays the part as well. It's impressive. 12, Steelers, pretty balanced roster, but they could use a corner of the future, to pair with Joey Porter Jr. because, Patrick Peterson not going to be around forever. Kool-Aid McKinstry of Alabama, 12th overall for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, kind of maybe get an elite corner duo of the future going there with not too many other glaring needs in Pittsburgh. 13, Giants. Yeah, they have a long list of receivers now. Excited about Jalen Hyatt this year, but I still think they can use another guy of the future, Emeka Egbuka of Ohio State, which, that offense didn't have too much production in that first game against Indiana, but these are Ohio State receivers. They get separation to make big-time plays, so this could be like the JSM of this upcoming draft, but healthy, so Giants grab him at 13. 14, Armarius Mims. Packers could be looking for that left tackle of the future, possibly behind Bakhtiari for now, so that the Packers will have 2 picks in the first round, the Jets pick as well. So they get the Georgia tackle here at 14. 15, Mason Smith, who we unfortunately did not get to see in that Week 1 game. He was suspended for 1 game, but that Sunday night game against Florida State, which I'm a big fan of Mason Smith. I think he can end up going a lot earlier in this, but, we didn't see him last year. We didn't see him in Week 1 this year, but he's a tank on the inside there, going to be a dominant run stuffer early on, and just only going to get better getting after the quarterback. So the Bears really beef up their D-line here, Jared Verse and Mason Smith in this mock scenario. So that's looking pretty good. 16, Michael Penix Jr. going to the Broncos. They'll be looking for the quarterback of the future here. Thought about a couple guys. His quarterback class, as long as these guys declare, all of these guys, we know Penix will be in there. It's looking stacked, but some of those guys could go back. Some guys that we're going to talk about here. Maybe a guy like McCarthy, who we already talked about, goes back, but some other guys coming up. But Penix, I almost wanted to plug him in earlier than 16. He had such a good outing all last year, but in that Boise State game, which was incredible from Washington, what Penix was in Indiana was good, but he seems so much different, more like a pro-style quarterback now. He's staying in the pocket. He's letting that thing sling. He's got an arm. Like, he's got an incredible arm, which he doesn't get enough credit for. Because at Indiana, he threw well, but it was more like making plays on the ground, like with his legs. But incredible outing against Boise State. Some of the difficult throws to the sideline, downfield, like the velocity behind the ball, the timing, the accuracy. We know he has athletic ability to escape pressure as well. So could be a fun one here for Sean Payton. He is lefty, which I think people will make a big deal about that. But the guy can play. And there was a point where it's like we knew he can play, but is he like a college quarterback? And now he's looking like an NFL quarterback. I thought he already had a good stock going, but I thought he boosted his stock with that Week 1 dominant outing against, not a cupcake team in Boise State at all. So Broncos get the quarterback of the future. And back-to-back here, the Vikings will be looking for their quarterback of the future because no extension for Kirk Cousins, and they'll be signing a bunch of guys to big contracts. They want to get a guy in a rookie contract here. And it's a good draft class as long as a lot of guys declare to be getting that quarterback future, because we're down here at 17, and Quinn Ewers, who I think still has a potential to be a top 3, top 5 pick because he has that arm strength, he has that poise. I loved his game against Alabama last year. I mean, it was incredible. He was not fazed about playing Alabama, and he'll actually play Alabama this week 2 here in 2023. So excited about that. There's some games where you're left kind of wanting more, but a little Herbert in him, a little Justin Herbert in him to me. But yeah, the Vikings get the quarterback of the future. So this would be fantastic if a guy like that, or if Penix is there. I think they'd be all over Ewers, like that fit in that O'Connell offense at 17 here. So really like that fit. For the Texans, that actually ended up being the 19th pick there. So we're going to go the Saints at 18. I'm not sure how that got ordered like that, but either way, the Texans could be picking before the Saints. We never know with the draft order, but 18, we'll go with the Saints. You already saw the Texans pick. Makhi Wingo had a very, very good outing. Mason Smith was out against Florida State. Makhi Wingo was constantly getting pressure. They moved him around a bit as well. High motor guy. He was unblockable. I think he wore out in the second half. Florida State kind of figured something out, but I think he wore out because he was going crazy. So the Saints could definitely use interior guys to pair. Another interior guy to pair with Brian Bruzzi of the future there. I think they're, different type of interior players. So that was the pick at 18. An incredible outing in week 1. Really boosted his stock. I liked him for the Texans too. A guy that I felt like could really fit DeMeco Ryans' defense. But right now I had the Saints at 18, Texans at 19. So that's probably where I confused myself there. But Roma Dunze from Washington, who had a monster year last year. Washington was impressive. Another Washington guy here. Monster year last year, and a really good game in week 1 against Boise State. Went off against them. Really good tracking the ball. Some of these guys got some good size. The size at the receiver position that kind of went away in the NFL. It's like, who cares about the size? Like, get the guys to get separation. Those are the guys that are going to go off. But I think this draft class right now with the guys, specifically the guys we've talked about, or most of the guys we talked about, they have a good combination of being able to get that separation, have that athletic ability, but they have some size on them as well. So that is what makes this, this class stand out here. So class looks good. It's way too early, I guess, to say that for sure, obviously, but it looks pretty good. We are at pick 20 now. Chop Robinson from Penn State. Penn State's got some NFL players in that defense. And here's another one. We talk about Kalen King. So the Seahawks, we'll see what they're in need of at this time, in the draft. But I thought Robinson, fit, in this range at pick 20. But really excited about that Penn State team in general because I think they got NFL players with that defense. And then 21, Cameron Kitchens for the Jaguars. Could use another safety in there. Ball hawk and safety from Miami. Miami had a pretty good outing in week 1. They did play Miami of Ohio, but they were kind of sketchy in those games last year, so they had a really strong outing. So I was excited about that. 22, the Dolphins get Josh Newton, the corner from TCU, went one-on-one with Travis Hunter. I thought he looked pretty strong, has some NFL traits to him. The Dolphins could be looking for a corner of the future in the upcoming draft. Thought about linebacker here as well. And next, we got Derzon Newton, the Illinois defensive tackle, who was really good last year. So excited to watch more of him this year. But the Chargers could use some guys in the interior. So they take Newton at 23. So this is where, maybe this might look a little bold. We'll see how Goff does this year. Their toe-on extension didn't happen yet. It's good they didn't do an extension yet. They got to see how he plays this year. I think teams will have a better game plan for him this year. But they could use a quarterback of the future still. And Shedeur Sanders, who could come back. But he had a great outing of 510 yards against TCU. It's something. People will still question, is he a college quarterback? Does he have, is that kind of style quarterback? But accurate, good velocity on the ball, obviously fitting in tight windows, big playability, could escape pressure, could run. So right now I kind of keep him, in the middle or down the end of the first round. I think he could go back. And then maybe a little bold with the Lions. Goff could be the guy of the future, but if he doesn't play as good as he did last year, this year, which is a possibility, could they be looking for the guy of the future? Yes, they could. At 25, Dallas Turner, who could go much earlier in this, got pushed down a little bit, but I do think Verse is the number 1 right now, and Latu maybe a little bit ahead of the other guys here, but the Penn State pass rusher and the Bama pass rusher right here, Dallas Turner, could be good value picks down here. And the Ravens could be looking for another edge rusher. They signed Clowney. That's only going to be a 1-year thing, obviously. But they do have some young guys that could step up. Could be looking for another young guy in there. Tyler Nubin had himself week 1 against Nebraska. Obviously sealed. He had 2 interceptions. Kind of not really sealed the game. Won the game with that last one. Really good read. Stepped up in front of the ball. Just read the quarterback the whole way. Made a big-time play. So he is one to watch. And I heard some things in the offseason. I was told that Alabama and Notre Dame, mainly Notre Dame, they were really after Nubin, and that kind of says a lot. Like Notre Dame, a big school. I mean, Kyle Hamilton drafted early a couple years ago, and then Alabama's pumping out DBs in early rounds in the draft like crazy. So they were interested in him. So that kind of catches your eye a little bit. It says something. And he stays at Minnesota. His brother is there. He's got a really good relationship with PJ Fleck. But so he stays, and he had a good year last year, but he had a really good game against Nebraska. Like, won the game basically. So impressive. It was impressive. I think he's gotten faster over the years too. I think he's gotten faster. Just the play speed mainly. Not like, I'm sure it's 40 times better. I'm not really talking about that though. Like, the play speed looks much faster for him as the years went on, and I like that. He's looking, that last interception, just reading the quarterback, looking like a true, like, center field, like, free safety there. So being able to be, I think you play either safety spot, but becoming a playmaker now, and just improved, and it's only been 1 week, but that was a big time game from him. I think it fits the Packers. Packers always looking for those Big Ten guys, it feels like, as well, but could play either safety spot for them, and they could use either safety spot. Thought it made sense with their second pick from the Jets here at 26. 27, Xavier Worthy stays in Texas, goes to the Cowboys. Right, going into this year, the Cowboys look really good at receiver. But how's Gallup going to be? He was disappointed last year. Brandon Cook's not going to be around forever, so they could look to add another one in the future here. CeeDee Lamb's going to get a big contract, get one on the rookie contract. Xavier Worthy, who had a good outing against Rice in week 1. I thought he was a little underwhelming last year. He's good. A little underwhelming. I thought a little bit more. We get more this year, hopefully, from Worthy, potential first-round pick. Then Kalen Bullock. USC's defense isn't much, but Kalen Bullock is very solid free safety, playmaker. And we'll see. The Bengals added some safeties. We'll see how that experiment goes without Jesse Bates. I think it could be fine. They're well coached, but they could be looking for another, young guy that can make a play on the ball here in the future. Not too many needs on the Cincinnati Bengals. And then we got 29, J.C. Latham, the Alabama tackle. 49ers could be looking for their future replacement for Trent Williams, possibly, or a guy to play right tackle, but Colton McKivitz, I think, is about to be pretty good. But just going to be looking for that future left tackle, perhaps. And then 30, Cooper DeJean, the Iowa corner for the Bills. Yeah, Tre'Davious White, I thought took a step down last year, maybe kind of gets back on track this year, but we'll see. They could be looking for a corner of the future there. Elam, we'll see how he ends up. He looked good early last year, then not so much playing, not really playing anymore in the middle of the year. Looked pretty good at the end. Will he be the guy of the future? Bills are known for the zone coverage. Cooper DeJean is a very good zone corner. Iowa runs like an NFL zone defense over there. And this is a guy that I could see moving to safety as well. So the Bills could be looking for corners or safeties of the future. So I thought, like, for multiple reasons I explained it, it was a fit, scheme fit as well there. Eagles go Barrett Carter, linebacker from Clemson, who could potentially go earlier in this. Clemson actually plays today, but they got a linebacker duo over there. But Carter could go earlier, absolute stud. The Eagles really don't value linebackers like this, but they may start, maybe they need to in the end of the first round. Not too many other needs, safety, linebacker, and just get a lot better here. Just kind of too good to pass. And the Chiefs, Leonard Taylor, the interior defensive lineman from Miami, that could be a big need for the Chiefs, and it kind of made sense value-wise down here as well. So that is my updated first round mock. Way too early. The last one was way too early. This was way too early, but got a good look at some guys. A lot of guys on my radar. We talked about who the biggest risers were in this video. We talked about on Twitter as well. It looks like a strong draft class. It's early to say that for sure, but the quarterbacks, depending on who comes in, who comes out, I should say, receivers look good. I guess there's not a long list of pass rushers, but there's some really, Verse and Latu look really, really good. The corners, the safeties look pretty solid. Some other guys stepping up. Safeties look solid. So really excited to watch these guys all year long. Really excited about college football and the NFL, and we have you covered for it on our Twitter and here on our channel. We're into week 1. It all starts tonight, folks. So hopefully you join us. Any important link you're interested in, you'll find it pinned in the comments. Gonna do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.